Woo! What's going on, guys? Owens Forum coming at you today with a video. And today we got a videos that I don't like to do, but Detroit Lions center, All-Pro center, Pro Bowl center, Frank Ragnow did retire today. Huge loss for the Lions. Who's going to step up for the Detroit Lions? Retiring over injuries. We'll get into that. 6'5", 310 pounds, played at Arkansas Razorbacks for 4 years. It was a first-round draft pick, I believe, by Bob Quinn, right? 20th overall, 2018. Started at left guard. I think it was left guard as a rookie. Started 13, 14 games. Four-time Pro Bowler, three-time second-team All-Pro. 7 years in the league, 29 years old, just turned 29. By the way, in May, started 96 games, probably missed around 18 to 19 games. 2021 is where he missed a lot of games. He missed 12 to 13 games. This is a guy that had fractured throats, a fractured throat, a torn pec, massive toe injuries, concussions, groins, turf toe, like I said, torn pec, calf, back, knee, and ankle injuries through 7 years. As a Detroit Lions All-Pro center, who just couldn't do it anymore, man. And I got a quote by him. I'll get to that a little bit later on. But this is a guy that was the epitome of grit, the epitome of the culture. This is a tough loss, guys. This is not. There's guys out there. There's a fan base out there. This Lions fan base. A lot of them are just brushing this off like this is nothing. And obviously, the Packers and the Bears and the Vikings fans are coming at us pretty hard and they're laughing about it. Which, hey, man, they got every right to. Because, now the options at center scare the living hell out of me. They really do. Now, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? The options that we have, okay? Now, they're cross-training the rookie that they drafted in the second round, Tate Ratledge out of Georgia. They're cross-training him at center and guard. Kept him at center, I believe, majority of the OTAs. I know the one day they did. The other couple days, I'm not 100% sure. We didn't get that info. And Graham Glasgow, seasoned veteran, been around for a while. Had a really bad year at guard last year. He's getting long in the tooth. He's probably our best option, Graham Glasgow. Okay? And then obviously you got Tate Ratledge, who I was in my car. I was doing something. I forget where I was going today, but I was in my car. I went to the gym, actually. Yeah, I went to the gym. I was actually not going to go to the gym after I heard the news. I was depressed for about a good half an hour. Just kind of dumbfounded, what the hell happened, man? But I wasn't going to go to the gym, but I'm like, screw it, let's go, man. Let's go to the gym. Hey, man, it's football. I love the sport, but I'm not going to let it ruin my day, okay? But I listen to the guys on the radio, and there's, like I said, there's some fans that are taking this hard, and there's some fans that just don't think it's a big deal, and then there's a lot of guys that are in the middle. I'm more in the middle, kind of weighing towards being a little bit more panicked about it, because we don't have good options on this team. There's people out there saying that we're going to be fine, we're going to be good. I don't know what you're basing that off of. Graham Glasgow, okay, is a versatile guy. He's played center for the Lions. He started at center for the Lions more than a few games. I think he started a whole season one time at center. Before, I think when we had RAGNOW, when we drafted RAGNOW, when they put RAGNOW at guard, and then they moved on from Glasgow, put him at center, and I think that's when Glasgow went to the Broncos. And then the rest is history. And the Pro Bowls and the All Pros, the rest is history. But we got guys like Michael Neese, Kingsley Aguakin, who was a decent center at Florida but never got drafted. And then that kid, Leaf Fatanu, the kid out of Arizona State, the Sun Devil. another undrafted free agent that they picked up this year, gave a little bit of money to Detroit, and a little bit of an undersized center, but a good center, but never got drafted as well. So is this what they're going to do? Like, there was talks of this being potentially going on for 3 years now. After the 2023 season, or was it before that? Last 2-3 years, whatever it was. The injuries were just piling on Frank Ragnow. His foot is completely mangled. You can't even operate on it. Apparently, it's not even going to do a thing to it. The torn pecs, the fractured throats, but I think it's mainly the foot. Mangled, completely mangled. So the Lions, in all, should have been pretty prepared for this. Now, there's a lot of fans out there that are kind of blaming Frank Ragnow. Not everybody, but there's guys out there blaming him, saying he could have told Holmes earlier, he could have told Campbell earlier, but he did a surprise. He did a Barry Sanders. He didn't do a Barry Sanders, man. This is a guy that he's young. He was 28, 29 years old when he was contemplating this. Well, he's been contemplating this for a few years, so he was even younger. The injuries were so bad. And, what's next? It's a grim situation. It's not a good situation. I'm not saying the sky is falling or we're going to lose 13 games or anything like that. I still think this offense is too big of a juggernaut. It's going to be some issues going on, though, at center this year, 100%. The chemistry with Goff. Ragnow was an ultimate warrior. He knew defenses. One of the best centers in the NFL today, if not the best. You can argue with Creed Humphrey from the Kansas City Chiefs, who's an absolute dog. Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens. You got Ryan Kelly out there from the Colts. Those guys are all good, but you can literally argue that Frank Ragnow is a top 2 to 3 O-lineman center in the NFL. It's an argument that you can make. He's just one of the best to ever play the game in the last 7-8 years. Just one of the better centers in the NFL, and he's done. And I don't like our options. I really don't like our options. If it's going to be Ratledge, you're throwing in a project, by the way. You do know that, right? Because there's a lot of people coming that you see in a lot of these Lions groups, a lot of these NFL football groups that think Ratledge is just this automatic guy that's going to be the center. Yes, Ratledge has been taking offense number 1 snaps at center, but he never really played center in college. Jared Wilson was their starting center at Georgia for the last 2-3 years, whatever he was. A couple years for sure. Now, Ratledge did the 4 or 5 year program, but he played mainly right guard at Georgia. I don't remember him getting in any game. If he got in any games, let me know. If he started any games at center, let me know. But I don't think he did. Maybe earlier in his career, but he became a full-time starter at right guard in his 3rd year. A full-time starting O-lineman, to be honest with you. Ratledge. So if he was a center, he was a backup center, and he wasn't playing much. He didn't play much his first couple years, Ratledge. And then became a starting right guard, and the rest is history. That's where he stayed. So people that are coming on my channel, going on Lions boards, going on NFL boards in general and saying Ratledge is the guy, I'm not even worried about it. Worry about it because he's literally a project at center. And you got Tony Ortiz from 97 to 1 to Ticket is kind of saying the same thing. Ratledge is the guy. He's got inside information. He's hearing that Ratledge is the guy. Okay. It concerns me a little, but hey, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they're much smarter than I am. Not even gonna fight that. But it makes me as a fan worry because this is a major hit. This isn't like Graham Glasgow retiring. You know, this isn't like that. This is actually a superstar center retiring. I would put this almost. I know he is the heart and soul of this offensive line. The heart and soul, the grit, the everything the warrior, the guy that everybody looks up to. You know, if Penei Sewell retired, it would be devastating as well. I'm just saying, I would put this very close to that. Now, talent-wise, he's not in Sewell's league. Different positions, whatever, but talent-wise, no. But just production and just the way that he is a leader, contributes on the field at center, that he can read defenses the way he does, the chemistry with Goff, it's unmatched. Now you got guys like Ratledge who's never played the position at the NFL level, never really played it in college. And then you got Graham Glasgow, who's literally on the tail end of his career, who's graded out apparently better at center than he has guard though. So my guess is Graham Glasgow is going to be our starting center for 2025. That's my guess. Now, I could be totally wrong. Like, I don't have any faith in Michael Anise. Kingsley Aguakan, I think, is still a developing kid. Lee Fatanu, just, you know, he's a brand new guy too as well. So could Holmes go up and could he trade for a center? Could that happen? Could he go the free agent list? There's a couple of guys out there, David Andrews, that played for the Patriots. I don't know if he retired or something like that, but he's been there in the league for about 10 years. He's 32 years old. He started a ton of games. Could they go after Daniel Brunskill, a Tennessee Titan? Could they make a move there? The Patriots, and let's talk about the draft. So there's a lot of people too saying, oh, why didn't they draft somebody? Why did they wait so long? Well, this year's draft was terrible for centers. Jared Wilson, who I talked about, the Georgia center, went in. He was the first true center to get took in this draft, 2025, by the Patriots, I believe. They have Garrett Bradbury on their team as well, too, who's a center. Minnesota guy. Could the Patriots be releasing him? I'm not sure about the contract situation going on, but I'm a little bit concerned on what the Lions are going to do here. Now, I'm not in a full-blown panic, but this is a little worrisome to me. So, but money-wise, this potentially saves $9 million in 2025. So we go from like 42 million to like 51 or close to whatever, 50 million, whatever. And then another 12 to 13 million dollars saved in 2026 because of his retirement. So that's the only good thing that we're looking at there. That's the only good thing we're looking at there. But this isn't a positive thing. This is a bad situation, I think, in my opinion, for the Detroit Lions. And it happens, man. Guys get hurt. He only played 7 years. It sucks. People are like, why did he take so long? I think this has been going on for, I don't understand why people are saying this take so long, because this has been talked for 2-3 years. So I don't know what people are talking about. Why did this take so long? Why did he just retire like this? No, this has been in talks for a while. And here is his quote. It's a little bit of a long quote, but I'm going to read it, okay? This is a quote from Frank Ragnow. These past couple of months have been very trying as I've come to the realization that my football journey is ending and I'm officially retiring from the NFL. I've tried to convince myself that I'm feeling good, but I'm not, and it's time to prioritize my health and my family's future. I've given this team everything I have, and I thought I had more to give, but the reality is I simply don't. I have to listen to my body, and this has been one of the hardest decisions of my life. The Lions organization has been absolutely incredible throughout this process, and I can't emphasize this enough, how grateful I am for this team and all the fans. It was an absolute honor going to battle for you all. Salute, Frank Ragnow. You don't owe this fan base a damn thing. You don't. And your talks that you had with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are between you guys. It's that simple. I see fans getting mad at Frank Ragnow for this. Oh, well, this and that. If you listen to his statement, he clearly stated he was thinking he could go one more year. He just couldn't. This is a 29-year-old kid, man, that, like I said, fractured his throat, never got pulled from the game. They couldn't get him out of the game. Goff went into his back knee, destroyed his knee, couldn't get him out. Torn pec, didn't get him out. He has been nothing but toughness for this football team. And we're losing a dog. We're losing a dog, and I don't know what we're getting in return. Because Ratledge is a complete mystery. Glasgow, I think, is on the tail end of his career. He's probably the best option. And then Aguakin and Nice and Fatanu, those guys are, guys that are developing still. Especially Aguakin and Fatanu. So, hey man, the sky isn't falling, but this is a big loss for the Detroit Lions. It is. It's, believe it or not, man. So you can't be the guy that comes on here and says that everything's going to be fine, because you do not know that. You do not know that, man. And you can't be the guy that says that we're going to be completely disastrous, because that might not be true either. So I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a little more worried than anything else about it. I don't feel comfortable with what's going on right now. Maybe Holmes goes and gets somebody, free agent, a trade. I don't know. But I don't like the options of Ratledge and Glasgow. If it's anybody, man, you put a gun to my head, I guess it's Glasgow. Really. That's really about it. Because I don't trust Ratledge yet. A guy that hasn't played center in college, you're going to throw him in as a center in the NFL? I guess it could happen. I'm not saying it's never happened before in the history of the NFL. I'm sure it's happened many times. But doesn't mean I have to be comfortable with it. So this is a little bit concerning. It's a concerning move. Not even mad at Frank. Frank gave his all. He bled for this football team. Literally bled for this football team, man. And it was one of the best ever to do it. One of the best I've ever watched do it, man. We're missing a good one. Hopefully he can come back and play as a coach, or they be a coach one day. Maybe they'll keep him on the staff. Because he's only 29, man. He's only 29. You just imagine how beat up he is being a 29-year-old. You remember being a 29-year-old? You felt invincible in your 20s. But this guy's been through war. So the options I don't like, I'm kind of hoping Holmes goes out and makes a move for somebody. Brings somebody in to push somebody. Just to even push. Because I don't like our options at center. I think we're in a little bit of trouble there. And it's not only that, guys. Our guard situation is a little bit up in the air too. Because Mahogany, he had those 2-3 really good games, but it's a small window. So he was a 6th-round pick. So could he be a guy that is long-term? It looks like it right now. And then you got guys like, they drafted Ratledge, they drafted Frazier. They brought back Mutai. They got guys, like I said, man, they got other guys on the roster that can play a little bit of guard, but, it's super young. It looks like it's going to be a very young situation. So if you got Glasgow in the middle at center, then you got Miles Frazier and Ratledge on the bookends at guard. That's a little bit concerning. That's concerning. That's a really young group there with an old man in the middle who's on the tail end of his career, and that makes me a little bit nervous. So, hey man, how do you guys feel? Frank Ragnow retired. Sucks. Hate making these type of videos, but you got to make them, because this is one of the best to ever do it. Salute to Frank Ragnow. I wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully they can bring him back as an O-line coach or something along that line. But hopefully he's part of the organization, because he's one of the good guys. So that's it, guys. How do you guys feel, man? I'm feeling a little bit down on this one. It's not a good video, but thanks a lot, guys, for letting me come in here and watching my vid. And appreciate it, man. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the button, bang, bang, up top, ding-a-ling. And don't forget to like, comment, share this. Frank the Tank, done. 7 years in the NFL, man. 7 years of being broke down. Man, this is a big one, guys. So thanks a lot, guys. Detroit versus everybody. Grit. Frank the Tank. Love it, buddy. Boom.